We are out on the Yolo bypass. I am with fisheries biologist Jacob Katz. And Jacob, you're part of a really neat project that is benefiting both fish and farmers. Tell me what you guys are doing out here.
Well, we're out on Yolo bypass on the Nags Ranch, and we call the project the Nigiri project. What we've learned over the last 5 years out here is that we can still grow rice in summer, but in winter, when we're not growing rice, we can create really fantastic habitat for fish.
So I imagine when you initially approached rice farmers, they may have thought you were a little crazy or wondered why on earth you wanted to put fish in rice fields.
Yeah, no, I think they thought I was a lot crazy. The idea of putting fish in what is essentially a mud puddle struck most folks as a little loony. And when we actually did get the permits to put fish into really just shin-deep water out in the corner of a rice field, not only did those fish survive, not only was the water quality good enough for them, but they grew at a phenomenal rate, some of the fastest growth that anyone's ever documented in the valley before.
47 millimeters.
Understanding that fish have to eat and that the food is not in the river channel, but is really made out on the floodplains, out on the marsh surface. So this project has been one to demonstrate that fact, and then we're really working now with farmers, with the government, and everyone's really working together collaboratively now to build a better future, one that works for both farms and for fish.
And I am here with one of those rice growers, John Brennan. John, talk about your involvement in this project.
So we've been involved from the beginning. I mean, I've been out here in the bypass for the last 10 or 15 years. And when they started talking about this project of flooding the fields for the salmon, it was always under the context of they would get rid of the rice, they'd get rid of the farming, and it would just be habitat. And so that's why we started with this idea of, no, we can do both, right? We can have rice and we can have our salmon too. And that's actually why we came up with this Nigiri project name, to make sure that rice stayed in the mix.
Oh, that's great, because explain what does Nigiri mean?
Well, when we named it that, we thought that everybody ate sushi, because we're in the short grain rice business, and evidently it's only a small population, but we wanted to keep this idea that you'd have rice and you'd have fish over it, and at the sushi restaurant, that is Nigiri.
So this is a great example of how, obviously, growers, farmers, conservationists, and actually water districts, so to speak, or water agencies can work together.
People talk about the loss of all the wetlands in the valley, and really a lot of those wetlands are in rice. And so as the rice community, we're really trying to show how we can mimic some of those wetland benefits, that used to be here in the wintertime. How can we operate? We only grow rice for 145 days out of the year, right? How do we manage them to recreate a lot of those wetland characteristics that used to be out here?